I'm a statistical anomaly in the field of statistics. I'm a member of 3 different groups where women are woefully underrepresented. Only 31% of credentialed actuaries are female. And if you look at the data and technology professions, only about 25% of us are female, which, by the way, is lower than when I was born in the mid-'80s. And if you take a look at technology leaders, fewer than 20% of us are female. Put all of that together, and people call me a unicorn. And I get asked by well-meaning people, how do we create more of you? Like I'm some plastic toy that can be manufactured on a factory line. But let me tell you a secret. I am a complete coincidence. I was not supposed to go into STEM. I was going to be a singer. And I had dreams of performing on the Broadway stage. That was until this series of situations, of moments happened to me where I started to see the possibility of pursuing a career in STEM, and it opened doors that had previously been closed. Moments that just as easily could have turned me away from STEM for good. Did you know that age 15 is when most girls lose interest in pursuing careers in STEM? And once you've left that path, it's far too difficult to return. I was 15 when I decided that I hated math. I showed potential and interest in STEM, but unfortunately, this series of moments and messages that I just didn't know how to recode left me disengaged and headed down a different path. It was freshman year of high school, and our entire class was headed to this math scholarship competition. You know, my classmates were juniors, and so they had been preparing for this day for months. As a freshman, this was a new and exciting experience for me, and I was just soaking it all in. Surprisingly, though, I scored in the top 5 for our school, which meant that I was part of the math team representing us in competition that afternoon. Now, this should have been an exciting moment. It should have been confidence building, and it should have been the first moment of quite a few. But unfortunately, my male teammates, they weren't happy that this freshman girl was part of their team. And so they didn't let me participate. And I remember thinking I had scored the seat at the table. But it was not my table. And so I sat there while I had the answers in my head, but the buzzer was kept out of reach. And I was mad when we lost in that first round. And that was the moment that I decided that I hated math. A few weeks later in math class, we were asked to write a paper. And my paper was entitled, Why I Hate Math and Shouldn't Be Good at It. I got an A on that paper. But still, my teacher never asked me to give math a second chance. You know, I received several messages from these moments that it took me years to recode. The first was that no matter how well I do at math, I'll always be a guest at the table. And the second was that, it's okay for me to give up on math. In fact, it wasn't just okay, it was expected, because everyone around me, everything around me, every sign around me was telling me that math just wasn't for girls. And this took me years to recode. And when I think about this situation and I look at the research, I realize that my experience was not unique. And unfortunately, it is not irrelevant today. Girls today are experiencing the same thing that I experienced all those years ago. When you look at it, only 9% of girls aged 13 through 17 are interested in pursuing a career in STEM, which is at a local minima. But we have to do more than just help bring on that 9% and keep them engaged. We have to figure out how to reach the other 91%. And so as a member of that 91%, I've really tried to dig deep and think about as a member of that 91%, how I found my on-ramp to STEM. And for me, it really started with a series of 3 moments. 3 pretty small moments in time that were over the course of a year. And when I think about it, those moments and the people involved in those moments probably have no idea the profound impact they had on my life. This first moment was senior year of high school. And I remember our teacher had us all crowd into a room because some actuary was coming to talk. I was super into musical theater, and so I was sitting there looking at my scripts that I was trying to memorize when this perfectly put together woman in heels and a fantastic suit walks in. She was an actuary and an executive from Blue Cross Blue Shield. She was a mother, a leader, an actuary. And I remember that's when I thought, that could be a good backup profession. Representation matters. Girls who know a woman in STEM are 45% more likely to know how to pursue a career in STEM, and 40% more likely to feel powerful when they're going through STEM activities. Having role models is so important. When I think about it, I would not be an actuary today had this woman, who I don't even know her name, had not shattered my perception of what an actuary was. The second moment, really my inflection point. Fast forward to high school graduation, and I'm in a musical, and graduation is the same night as opening night. So picture this. I'm in character shoes, my flapper dress underneath my graduation gown, ready to just bolt to the theater as soon as this graduation thing is over. When this guy walks up to me and asks if I have time to talk. Now, this guy was one of the smartest people I've ever met. He was off to some specialized engineering school or something to learn how to build rocket ships. And suddenly this brainiac says to me, "Hey, Meg, I can't wait to see the impact you have on mathematical theory. The way your brain works, you just see new ways of solving problems. And I can't wait to read your textbook one day." I had no idea what to say. But that was the beginning of this newfound confidence. Just maybe something with this math thing. Boys rate their mathematical ability 27% higher than girls of the same ability. Among children who have the highest aptitude for success in math and science careers, girls have less confidence than their equally matched boys do, even though they're equally capable. We have an opportunity here to instill confidence in our young girls. One moment, one compliment from you might be her inflection point. Moment number 3. Finding my on-ramp to STEM. Fast forward now a couple more weeks to college registration. I'm at Millikan University, and everyone's required to take some math placement test. Before I know it, I'm the last person in the room because I got too many questions right on that standardized test. When suddenly the professor, Dr. Beck, comes up to me and we have a real conversation. When I say I'm a vocal performance major, he isn't fazed. We have a conversation about music and math. And before I leave that room, he got me convinced to take Calculus 3 as an elective instead of math in the world. And he even let me miss a class each week because of my conflict with choir. That on-ramp that Dr. Beck created for me, that he might not have even realized that he did, was so critical, because had I not taken those first few math classes as electives, it would have been so much more difficult for me to change my major to math later down the road. Throughout my college career, Dr. Beck was there to help build my confidence and help me realize that I could do something with math. And I'll never forget it. 2.5 years later, when I finally realized I wanted to do something with applied math and I wanted to be an actuary, I remember sitting there and telling him this, and he looked at me with the biggest smile and said, "I knew you would." And we still keep in touch today. 3 moments and 3 messages were my inflection points, where I began to unsubscribe to those negative messages that I had internalized. We all subscribe to messages. Some need to be recoded and others amplified. What are the moments that shaped your life? What messages are you sending to the world? We all have an opportunity to be moment makers for women in STEM. Create mentoring moments as a role model or an ally. One moment might be the moment that inspires a young girl to pursue a career in STEM. Create inflection moments by helping women and girls see their possibilities, see their potential. Don't assume that a young girl knows what they can do for their future career. Sometimes that opportunity isn't something that they've even considered because of that confidence gap. And create journey moments. Meet people where they are. Look beyond the checkbox and give talented young women a chance in STEM. We all are creating moments and messages for others. And long after you forget my name. I hope that you remember this moment.